think the shared message is what we try and get across when we're pulling cars and motorbikes over. We're pulling bikes over, right into conditions, fatigue management, making sure bike's safe, roadworthy. With the cars, it's probably numerous times a shift we'll get cars that'll merge into us and not see us. You've seen our bikes over there, how big, bright. We're wearing high visibility. People just don't see bikes, don't look. One of your next speakers who's about to get up, I've had a chat to him on the side of the road, which was quite a funny conversation when we were talking about who was going to be our representative this year for Motorcyclist Awareness Month.
I could almost say, ladies and gentlemen, a person that needs no introduction and walk off. But I won't. I have discovered, because of my involvement with Motorcycle Awareness Month, that not only is Ross Noble one of the funniest human beings alive, he is also a dedicated, experienced and skilled motorcyclist. Please welcome our ambassador, Ross Noble.
Thank you very much. How are you all doing? Hey, lovely stuff. Yes, what Brett said there before was, that was a little bit of a fun moment for me earlier on when our friends from Victoria Police walked up and Brett went, I pulled you over. And I went, oh God. And then he reminded me that I was coming down from Mansfield and he literally pulled me over, and I wasn't speeding. I was riding safely, had my helmet fastened, had all my safety gear on, and I said, why have you pulled me over? I thought, I'm in trouble here. And he went, oh, we're just checking to see how tired you are. Yeah, and I went, oh, this is good. The police are now trying to tuck us in. I mean, come on, lads, that's overdoing it a bit, isn't it? I mean, they brought all the police bikes down, and then the helicopter guys have gone, you're not staging us. Yeah. Anyway, it's great. It's lovely to see you again. And it was great. I went, can I have a photograph on your bike? And he let me sit on his bike and had a photo on the bike. And luckily it finished, otherwise I would have been shooting his gun. It's firing randomly into the sky.
Out of sheer joy.
Yes.
When did you start riding?
Well, you mentioned before about your Honda
Express.
Your Honda Express. That's exactly the same thing. I moved to London and I thought, I've always wanted a bike. I was obsessed with a show called, do you remember Kickstart? Did you ever hear of that? It was a show in the UK, it was a trial show. And I was obsessed with it, and I wasn't allowed a motorbike when I was a kid. So I moved to London and I bought a City Express 50cc bike. But they used to do, I think, taxi drivers used to learn the streets by riding these bikes.
The knowledge,
yeah.
Yes.
And they would have a clipboard on the front, and they would have like a map, and they would drive around. So I bought one of them and left the clipboard on it, and I used to ride around with my map. And taxi drivers thought that I was doing the knowledge, and they would wave you through. So it was perfect. Yeah. And I think because Valentino Rossi said that, because they used to deliver pizzas on them, and Valentino Rossi said the absolute champions of motorcycling were those pizza delivery guys in London. He used to ride around, slime about the place.
See, it was an interesting place to ride. I remember once riding down a highway, and it was blocked. No cars were moving, so there was plenty of space for a Honda Express to go past.
Yeah.
And I saw this beautiful powder blue Rolls Royce ahead, and I got closer, and the guy who was driving was wearing a matching powder blue suit.
Right.
And I got up next to him, and it was Brian Ferry.
Oh yeah.
So I waved to him and kept driving.
Well, I had a guy one time on that City Express thing. I was going up a hill, and there was a drunk guy, and he wandered out into the road, and I went, "Come on, mate!" And this guy was like, "Don't you speak to me like that!" And he threw his chips at me, and then I went. I said some things I probably shouldn't have said, and then we're on the hill, and he started running after me, and it was so gutless. I was like, and I was going at walking speed up this hill, and this drunk man was running next to me. So they don't teach you that in highway code.
No, but it does urge you to get something a bit bigger.
It really does.
So what did you progress to?
So the bike started getting bigger and bigger. and then I went. They got stupidly. It got out of control. At one point, I think I had 16 bikes at one point, because it was like I thought I'll have a. So I had a road bike, and then I had a track bike, and then I had a trials bike, and then an enduro bike, and then an adventure bike, and it was like. What I'd have to do is I'd have to wait until my wife was out and then sort of put them in the shed without her seeing. So yeah, it just got bigger and bigger, and then I started riding the trials, and then I got into the enduro, and then I started racing, and then I got into extreme enduro. I went off and did Romaniacs and Roof of Africa and the Scottish 60th trial, and yeah, just got absolutely obsessed with it, you know.
So what's the most dangerous moment in any of those extreme rides?
Well, you know what's weird about it is the fact that if I say to my wife that I'm going off to race, and I'm going off to do, like a dirt bike race, she doesn't care at all. She's just like, well, worst case scenario. There was one time I used to do this race. It was a 24-hour enduro race, and you didn't sleep, and that thing of like the guy's talking about being aware. Obviously it's all off-road, and you'd be riding along and you'd literally, because you hadn't slept for so long and you're trying to concentrate, you'd start hallucinating and think that rabbits were like running out in front of you. And as soon as I experienced that, then on the road I thought, I should probably try and, well, they're enjoying themselves over there. Yeah. Okay, start their own gig. But my wife, she'll happily let me. She'll go off, but if I say, especially if it's raining, or I go, oh yeah, I'm gonna ride off on the road. That's when she starts getting a bit, because she's seen the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the statistics are. If all you think about are statistics, it's frightening. If you think about reality, though, it's different to that, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you can prove anything with statistics.
Well, there's a rabbit hole we shouldn't go down. So when Brett said, how do you feel about being the ambassador for Motorcycle Awareness Month? Was it Brett who asked you, or did someone else?
No, it was the TSC guys. It's one of those things where...
He sent it back up the chain.
I basically, it's one of those things where talking seriously about things is not something I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I just think, who cares what I think? But as a real motorbike, fan, it is one of those things where it's terrifying, the fact that what it's like, especially you're going around a roundabout, and the KTM that I'm riding at the moment, it's one of those big adventure bikes, massive, and I've got all the gear that you can be seen in. You come around a roundabout, people just literally just like, oh sorry mate, I didn't see it, and that, I just think it's one of those things where people genuinely, like they were saying before, riding along in a lane, and you can, you're not in a blind spot, you're next to a car, and cars literally just start drifting into you. So it's one of those things where it's really important that, it's really important that people are aware of bikes. And I drive a car as well, and it's one of those things where, if you're driving along the car, it's easy to get just. Weirdly, I get easily distracted. I know that's hard to believe. So,
Well, that's one thing I have noticed is that when I'm riding, I am less likely to be distracted. I think I'm
absolutely
hyper aware. When I'm driving, I've got to keep reminding myself that I'm driving.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you're a rider and you find yourself in that, if you're thinking like that, if you're thinking, oh, I have to remind myself to be aware. But you're actually somebody that rides a motorbike. For somebody who has no concept of what it's like on a bike, it's kind of just shows you how tricky it is, doesn't it?
So is humour a good way of getting our message across?
Well, we've made the videos. Hopefully, people are enjoying them. In fact, when we made the video, which you can see online, we made the video. We put all the cameras on the bike, so you could sort of see you could see the POV of the road, and then there was ones on me. And we got back, and this just shows you, we riding around, and then some of the crew who don't ride bikes, they were reviewing the footage, and they were going, bloody hell, that car nearly drove out in front of you. Well, they didn't see it, and you just go, that's what we're doing. That's literally what we're trying to do in the video. So hopefully people will enjoy it.
Yeah, well, that's it. There is something about humour that isn't relevant in a situation as serious as this?
Yeah, well, I can't tell that story. Move on. I just went, oh yeah, I'll tell that. Probably best not to.
So that proves your point. Exactly. So just in conclusion,
Yeah.
what's your message to the world?
Well, basically the fact that we all have to share the road. Like I say, I ride a bike, but also ride a car. I've been in trouble with the police for standing on top. No, I drive a car, and it's the sort of thing where it's very easy for car drivers to look at people on motorbikes and just go bunch of hoons, bunch of hooligans. It's very easy for people on bikes to look at car drivers and go bunch of, I'm not going to use the word, but it is that thing of we all have to share the road, and that's the most important thing,
Can I ask some personal questions, Ross?
Good Lord.
So I don't know if people remember that when Black Saturday happened, Ross and his family were burnt out in St Andrews. How many motorbikes did you lose in that fire?
Should we really kill the mood? It's a beautiful day. I had it shed. Yeah, that was my excuse for then replacing them with the 15 bikes that I ended up with. I think I had about 8 at the time. And in fact, this is a bit dark, but I went up to King Lake. I'll be quick.
No. It's itchy. It's all right. Mosquito bite from last night. We can keep going for as long as
So I went up to King Lake, and one of the firefighters up there, because I used to ride up the hill, I'd have a coffin, I'd go riding in the dirt. And one of the firefighters said to me he said, please tell me, because how are your bikes? Did they survive the fire? And I said, no, I said, they're all gone, right? Now, bear in mind the absolute horror this man has seen, right? He's seen things that no human being should ever see, and he just went, God, I've heard some terrible, tragic things, but that's the worst thing that I've heard. You go, there's a die-hard biker right there.
So there were 8 or so.
Yes.
How many now that you're down the peninsula?
You know what? I've got one main bike, and I've got a few trials bikes. So I'm just being a bit sensible at the moment. So yeah.
Is that likely to last for long?
No, it's just because I was living on a farm, and I had loads of space, and I'm sort of
Okay.
But I did have to, when we filmed the video, I did have to change the tyres, because I had dirt tyres on my bike, and I went, I should probably get some better tyres tonight.
And
all road legal.
Are your kids riders?
My youngest daughter, I bought her an electric trials bike. She was right into it, and I thought, brilliant. The two of us will ride together. We'll compete in father-daughter trials competitions. And she had a real passion for it. Then she banged her knee one day, and she hasn't been on it since.
So there's stuff about safety equipment over for like knee protection and so forth.
Yeah, I'll take her there. She's only small, but yeah, I'll take her a pair of adult size.
Ross, it's a joy to have you.
Well, thanks for having me.
As ambassador, and it's a joy to have a chat with you today.
And it's nice to meet my old friend from the police and not worry.
Please thank
Lovely.
Ross.
Thanks very much. Cheers.